The Texas A&M Aggies come to Rupp Arena and lose to the Kentucky Wildcats, who were more physical and out-rebounded the Aggies. We're going to talk about that big win for Kentucky and preview the Alabama game on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson Nash. Carson, how about it?
How about it? The Cats win another top 15 game. We hit 2,000 subscribers.
We did.
So shout out to everyone who hit that button. We really appreciate it. We love doing this. We love bringing you the content. So we're ecstatic with that. Now we got to get to 5K. That's the next step. We're not even shooting for 3.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe that's the long term, and the short term is 2,500. That's how we'll look at it. Well, the next year goal was 5K. The next 2-month goal was 2,500. That's how we're going to look at it. Couple announcements. So as you can see scrolling down below our faces, we did get a Twitter. It's right there at Wildcats Today _ Posted some fun stuff on there. Like I took a video on Tuesday, of what it's like to walk out as an opposing player at Rupp Arena, because that's where we walk out for media stuff. So some cool stuff there. We got tweets and post-game analysis and all this stuff coming out on the Twitter. So go give that a follow. Once again, right down there at Wildcats Today _ Obviously the @ is the @ You don't type the @ It's just Wildcats Today _ So everybody go follow the Twitter. Also, we're looking to start maybe getting some people to, some sponsorships for the show to get, to endorse some brands, companies, whatever it is. So, hey, hit one of us up on our personal Twitters. Go to the show's Twitter. If you got a business, a company of any kind that you'd like to see, just a little bit of advertising here on Wildcats Today, hit one of us up or hit the show up and we can discuss how to make that work. We're going to try and start working that into the routine. And like Carson said, thank y'all so much for 2,000 subscribers. Dream come true for us. We love doing this. I mean, it's just, we do this and just talk to ourselves. But the fact that, you all are hitting that subscribe button and supporting it means a lot to us. So we appreciate it. Carson, what are our celebratory plans?
Yeah. So tomorrow night, we're going to be hitting a good old Shinaway Pub. I know a lot of Kentucky alums and people know what Shinaway Pub is. It's been around for a long time. But we're going to be hitting the karaoke. So show out if you want, but the boys will be there.
And we will have, hopefully we will have some post-game content from the karaoke for Monday's episode, which should be thoroughly, thoroughly exciting. But to get into this, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking in the press box on Tuesday to some folks, and I said, when the game went final, I said, you know what? I would have bet my liver that we wouldn't A, out rebound Texas A&M, B, out offensive rebound Texas A&M, and C, out second chance point Texas A&M. Would have bet my liver. Really darn glad I didn't, because I would be liverless right now, and that would be unfortunate. That's kind of the plan for Friday night anyway, but because we're going to have a lot of sprites. But all kidding aside, seriously, I am so damn proud of how this team came out. They were physical. Watching Jackson Robinson giving you 7 defensive rebounds, 8 total. Amari gives you 9 defensive rebounds. This team knew what they had to do to beat Texas A&M when it came to rebounding, and I was so proud. That got me more fired up than anything, any points, any threes, anything we did offensively. That is what won us this game. That won us this game. It wasn't our offensive output. It was how good of a job we did keeping them off the glass when we were on defense. Proud of this team, Carson. Very proud.
Yeah, and that's huge. I point my finger at Amari because I think Amari played his best game in the blue and white. And his stats might not show it, but he absolutely dominated them on the glass. And just physicality-wise, he was throwing people around like a rag doll, throwing his elbows around, being the Amari Williams we need him to be. So seeing that was awesome. Jackson getting 8 rebounds was huge. Like that from a guard is insane. That shows you how dedicated he was to that game and how I think it's starting to progress into something that is going to flourish for us. I think Jackson Robinson is starting to hit his stride, which is huge for us coming down the stretch in the SEC. So a lot of good takeaways. Otega Owe killed someone on live TV. So, I mean, I feel horrible for that guy, but good Lord.
That was the best poster dunk I've ever seen in person in my life. That was awesome. Rupp Arena, for those of you listeners that were there, I mean, it was loud. That and Travis Perry's 3 were 2 of the loudest I've heard Rupp this year. It was pretty loud when Lamont hit some of those threes against Louisville, and we've heard some loud Rupp moments so far this year, but I'm telling you, that was pretty darn awesome. Side note, Carson, look here. Mari Williams, since the Ohio State game, he goes 2 of 4 at the free throw line in the Ohio State game. Since then,
I was going to talk about this.
5 of 6, 3 of 4, 0 of 0, 4 of 5, 2 of 2. From your 7-footer who shoots just close your eyes when he does it. But my goodness, he's shooting at a high clip, and you need him to do that because there's nothing that makes me more mad than when your 7-foot big guy gets fouled and you go, okay, well, if we goes 1 for 2, that's a win. If he can start making free throws, it's a big thing for the team. And I noticed that today. He only went 2 for 2, but it hit me like, man, he's been shooting the free throws well lately.
Oh, yeah, no, his percentage has risen recently. Yeah. And I've been noticing that just by watching him. Like, dang, Amari's making his foul shots. But that's huge because if he can combat that with physicality and going and attacking the rim, that makes us a whole different team. Yeah. Because if your big man's getting to the foul line, drawing fouls on the other team and making his foul shots, that's massive. That is absolutely massive and something to watch and monitor throughout the season.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you this, the way that Jackson Robinson has played in these last two games has been so incredibly exciting. I mean, and to me, it's more exciting than just the way he's playing. What gets me fired up at the way Jackson Robinson's playing is the fact that Kobe Brea quietly has only scored 8 points combined in our last 2 games. So, it's 4 points per game in these last two games. And we've won both of them because of the way Jackson played. If Jackson in these last 2 games had played like he's played all season and Kobe scored 4 points a game, we're 0-2 in those 2 games. Jackson being good. I wrote an article, basically, it was titled, Jackson Robinson playing good basketball takes the pressure off of our offense. And what I meant by that was you don't need – you have another player who on any given night is capable of scoring 20, 25, 30 points and winning you a game. When it was really just Carr, Otega, Brea, and Butler, that, now you have one more player that is capable of going off and single-handedly winning you a basketball game. So that is why it's just so exciting to have him playing like we thought he would.
You want to know my favorite part about all of that? Is
what?
He started off so poorly in that game, and he used his physicality and rebounding. He didn't mope at all, and he came back and started hitting shots, got in the groove, and got hot. And we kept the game close when he was cold. We were shooting like 1 for 11. Yeah. Or like 0 for – like we were shooting horrible.
It was 1 for 11, I'm pretty sure. It was rough.
Yeah. And they were open shots too. Like Texas A&M was giving us good looks at the beginning of the game. And so you knew at some point they were going to start to fall, but the physicality that you played with kept you in the game so that when they did start to fall, you pulled away and won pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fully with you on that. I'll tell you this. I just do not like playing that team, just the way they play. I'm not talking – I'm saying the way they play, like the way that their strategy of playing basketball, it does not match up with – we did a good job in that game. But if we play them 10 times, we're not always going to do that 10 times, I don't think. So I've had enough of them. We didn't have to play against Wade Taylor. I would love for them to be on the opposite side of us in Nashville, if that's possible. But, I mean –
I don't know. I kind of want to play him with Wade Taylor. We owe him one with Wade Taylor.
We do. I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'd rather owe Georgia one. I just don't. I don't like the way
but
they
honestly, Georgia's good. Like, I think Georgia's good. A&M is weird for me because they're not big. Like, they don't have anyone that's over like 6'8".
Yes, their tallest player is 6'9". Tallest.
So, like, you'll be able to get rebounds. I think part of the reason why they're so good at offensive rebounding is because they miss a lot of shots. They're not a good shooting team. And yes, they are physical and they have some big dudes. But part of the reason is because they stink at 3-point shooting. And now they were on fire. They were on fire in the first half against us, of course. Yeah. I mean, of course, that just happens. But they cooled off in the second, and we stayed consistent to our game and pulled away.
And exactly what you and I said needed to happen. They have one guy who can score. I mean, they did get double digits from 2 other players, but at the end of the day, I mean, their main guy was Phelps, and you hold him to 8 of 19, well under 50%. I mean, you'll take that all day long. Now, the Texas A&M, I agree with you that helps a lot, but they do, man, they'll miss a shot, and then whoever has the rebound for us, he has 4 opposing players like poking at him.
Yeah.
Poke. Seriously, like, I'll give him credit. I'm glad we beat them, but it is fun to watch them crash the glass when they're on offense.
They're very annoying.
That's a great word to describe it. It's annoying. Like, normally you get a rebound and they leave. They'll sit there and they'll poke you for 4 seconds until you start going like this, and then they'll run away. They're like, it's like, seriously, annoying is a great word to describe their offensive rebounding. And it's funny because when obviously they won't show this on TV, but that's what you can tell. Buzz Williams, every time he sees them do that, he's down there. That's what he wants them to be doing. That is the way they coach, and I find that interesting. But I mean, we have an opportunity to go 4-1 in these first 5 games, which I told you 4-1, 3-2 with this stretch. I was going to be happy with 4 or 5 games against ranked teams. And the funniest part about it is, now obviously Georgia's ranked now, but if we win this game on Saturday, the only game we lost was to an unranked team. I find that to be funny, but I mean, just the way this team's played, it's been really impressive. I mean, in this stretch. But Carson, who else? Aside from Jackson and Amari really stood out in this ballgame for you?
I thought Lamont played well on the defensive end. He always holds guards in check, man. I mean, just making them way more inefficient than normal.
Yeah.
Holding them to 2 of 9 from 3.
2 of 9,
I mean, that's really what you want to see, because the only way A&M beats you is if that guy gets hot, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the only way. So Lamont being there and kind of calming that storm was huge for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was.
And actually, one more. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my boy Travis Perry. 2 huge 3-pointers, massive 3-pointers during a crucial stretch of the game.
When you get 6 points from Travis Perry in an SEC game, you got to feel pretty darn good about that.
4 straight games with the 3-pointer by Travis starting to heat up a little bit.
He looks more comfortable doing it.
He was confident. He was confident.
Looks
on
good.
Tuesday.
You know what I loved? He took one where I kind of went, oh, goodness, why are we shooting that? But then I was almost kind of like, hell yeah, let's get a little bit of confidence. I like it.
Exactly. He was great at line counting. You see how many step backs he hit there? Like, he makes everything. Like, just be confident. You're a great shooter. Just be confident.
Watching him play in high school, by the way, was a treat, man. It was it was fun. But
he's like a Hubbard. You just got to guard him as soon as he crosses the half court line.
I really hope that, he continues to get better and better. Not probably this year, yes, as well. But over the years, and he's just a big time player for us. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun if he was a 13 points a game guy. What did you just do?
I don't know. Looks like your camera was unplugged.
Oh no! Whoa! They said he's got a face for radio. Boo! But our thing was trying to tell you something there. So, I mean, Andrew Carr. I'll tell you this: did you see Pope's quote about Carr about an hour ago, hour or two?
Yeah. He said he's not practicing, but they're hoping to get him ready for the game.
I don't like this, and I'll tell you why. I bet he's gonna play, but he's not 100%.
Yeah, you can tell against A&M he wasn't 100% because that's a game. I watched him. I thought he played fantastic. He played sparingly. But him against A&M's a cheat code because he can just go up over top. His hands are so good. He just goes up over top of people and they can't do anything about it.
So, I mean, even what I'm thinking, though, is like, can you find a stretch where you sit him out?
Yeah, well, Pope, I guess against Alabama, you're probably looking at when do we play and when do we not play him? How many minutes is he going to get? When is he going to play? But the week after, the Pope did say we have a good enough break to where he'll probably be able to heal up enough to be back to normal.
I mean, because when is do we have a bye week soon? I guess it's we don't have a midweek game this week.
Yeah,
That's what so he'll have a full, so after the Alabama, I get what you're saying. He has a full, we don't have a midweeker this week.
Yeah.
So after this game, he's got a week to get healthy. That's
Mhm.
good. That's good. I hope they run him out there on Saturday, even if he plays 20 minutes. I mean, you just need those minutes from him.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Going into this game, Kentucky needed to do three things. Texas A&M was a team that they let teams shoot threes a lot. And I was pretty proud of the way we shot the ball. What did we go from three? Let me check. I'll tell you right now. We were 9 of 27, 33%. I mean, once again, you take that. I mean, that's plenty. But the two keys to victory, make some make 3-pointers, have Lamont shut down Zurich Phelps. And I mean, like you look at the stat sheet, to me, 8 of 19 when you're shooting the ball. I mean, I'd say maybe 6 of 19 I consider fully shut down, but 8 of 19 I still put right on that line. And it's hard, man. I mean, it's college basketball. If a Division I player is shooting the ball 19 times, he's going to make 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. It's just a reality. So I think Lamont, check, he did that. And you know what was funny? I said just don't get dominated on the defensive glass. Like if they have 14 offensive rebounds and get like 16 second chance points, like that's fine because they can't score that much. I can live with that. And then you absolutely double check mark that. So those were the keys to victory. You did them all well. I was extremely, extremely proud of the way this team showed up on Tuesday, Carson.
What did you think about the little storyline during the game? Pretty much, Jackson Robinson and Buzz Williams.
That was great. I mean, tell you this. Say what you want. I am a 60-year-old trapped in a 24-year-old's body. I don't like crap talking a coach to his face. I think it's disrespectful, but I think it's funny as hell. You know what I mean? Like I think that people agree with. I think people will agree with that.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Because Buzz Williams is the one who told him to hit the transfer portal. So
yeah,
I mean, if a coach tells you to hit the transfer portal and thinks you're not a good enough player, Jackson had every freaking right to talk some trash because he beat his team.
Once again, I agree with you, but my whole point is he did enough the way he played. Buzz Williams going home tonight going,
but here's my thing too. Jackson was so timid and so not outspoken earlier in the season and moping and stuff like that. That is the Jackson we need. That Jackson is the Jackson we need the rest of the season.
I agree with you, but once again, I tend to be the old man young at Cloud. That's just kind of who I am.
We need a villain.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's my only. I wouldn't to a player. I don't give a crap. I just a coach. I think that's my only issue there.
Well, he kind of threw it at the bench too, so it was like I don't know if he was talking to Buzz or
no. The first one, I can guarantee you, he was talking to Buzz. I didn't see the second one, the one going into half.
Yeah, he just literally just like did this and like shot at the bench.
Yeah, the first one I can guarantee you he was looking at Buzz, and it's funny as heck. I just think
I like it. I think it's funny.
But I mean, just good for him though, because I mean, once again, you always want to prove people wrong. But I'll tell you this: Buzz Williams every night is going to have nightmares thinking about why the heck did I get rid of this kid? Like that's to me what Jackson should be, should have done, and he did that. So I'm proud of him. Good for him for that. Because I remember when I was in, where was Media Day? Was it Birmingham? Birmingham, yes. Right?
Media Days, yeah, Birmingham, Alabama.
I think I was in Birmingham, but I don't even remember where the hell I was. But someone asked him, an A&M media person asked him about A&M, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm not going to talk about that." So, like, there's, which I respect him not being like, "Screw them, I hate them," and giving them bulletin board material. He just said, "I'm good. Don't want to talk about it." Which
I'm only here so I won't get fined.
Precisely, beast mode. So any other thoughts on this game, Carson, before we get moving on talking about the Crimson Tide?
No, that was a great win, though. I thought everything was pretty much clicking for the Cats. Not early, but it ended up working out. I think we're starting to see this team move in the right direction. They're getting better every game, in my opinion. So that's really good to see. And Mark Pope coached his ass off. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, I agree with you. Moving on to this Alabama game, I don't like that they just lost to Ole Miss. I don't like playing a good basketball team off a loss that they would consider a bad loss, even though I think Ole Miss is a good team. But it's at home. I don't like playing them off a loss like that. Now, I weirdly remember being in the exact same situation last year. When they came to, now we beat the brakes off them last year, but
that was the Justin Edwards legacy game.
Yes.
Also, maybe that's good juju because Justin Edwards just dropped 25 points for the 76ers.
That is crazy. Mike told me that, and I'm like, oh, is he playing well for their G League team? And he was like, no. And I'm like,
this is the 76ers.
And I'm like, wait, what? I didn't even know he was in the league right now. All right, let me see. Never mind, I was wrong. I don't know why I thought that they came off a game. I thought that they came off a game with an ugly loss, but they did not. But they're coming off a loss that I think they would consider an ugly loss if you asked Alabama.
I mean, they only scored 64 points.
The number one scoring team in college basketball, scored 64 points. So they scored, because they averaged pretty much 90. I mean, heck, they scored. I'm not even going to pretend to do math here. I'm just going to go and type it in so I don't sound stupid. They scored 26 points under their season average. Like, that's a bad game for them. But I'll tell you this, though, Carson. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this ball game. So what are your thoughts on this one? Who's going to play well? What are your kind of keys for us getting this big dub?
Biggest key of the game is Lamont Butler versus Mark Sears matchup. 100%. I mean, that is key number one. Whoever wins that matchup, the team of the player who wins that matchup is most likely probably going to win the game. So we're going to need Lamont to keep him, like we always say, you're never going to shut Mark Sears down.
Yeah.
Not going to shut him down, but keep him way more inefficient than he normally is. And that will be crucial. You got to rebound against Alabama. Can't let them get extra shots because that leads to more 3-pointers. So got to crash the glass. Be physical. If you're as physical as you were against Texas A&M against Alabama, you're probably going to win because they're not a very physical team at all. So
Grant Nelson is not physical at all.
No,
at all.
He'd blow away with the wind. But I think you just gotta be physical and hit your open shots. When we're hitting 3-pointers, it's almost impossible to guard us.
Yeah. Leave Aiden Holloway open. That's a big key for me. I think that always is a good way to lead to a victory. Actually, just kidding. He's shooting 39% this year, but I still believe you can leave him open. To me, I agree with you. You nailed it. It's that number one, like in this game for us on Tuesday, it was winning or at least not letting them kill us on the offensive boards. In this game, it is Lamont stopping Mark Sears. Mark Sears' numbers haven't so it's percentages. He's scoring 18.6 points per game, which is one of the top numbers in the SEC. Mm-hmm. But he is shooting. Last year, he shot basically 51% from the field and basically 44% from three. This year, he's shooting 35% from three and 40% from the field. His percentages are down a lot, huh?
That tells me he's having to create more shots.
Yeah.
Which is leading to worse field goal percentage, which means Bama is not as good of a team as they were last year.
They're not. They're without question. They are not as good of a team as they were last year. They also have had a couple injuries. That Wright-Sell Jr. kid and the Youngblood. They were both pretty good role players.
Youngblood is an awesome last name.
It is. I remember we played a quarterback in high school once whose last name was Youngblood. We were like, that's
I think you're right. I forget who we played.
It was Western Hills, if I weirdly remember that right.
Maybe
Western Hills. I think that was the game I lost my. I forgot my knee pads. I'm pretty sure that was that game.
You got a 15-yard penalty for your knee pads?
Yeah, it was literally like heck, when we were on varsity for football, like we never played. There was one game I got put in the game, which I'm like, oh hell. And then I go in there and I had to give my knee pad
concussion because I was going to play, but then
because they put all the JV linemen in. Now we were sophomores, to be fair. We weren't like seniors playing JV. We were sophomores, but you had your concussion. I got stuck in there. I had to give my knee pads to a senior because they never expected me to play. And then I couldn't narc on the senior. So I just got absolutely toasted and roasted by our coaches for 30. I mean, they were on
Golly, Stefaniak.
Yeah. Current Kentucky football coach,
Mark Perry
said, golly, Stefaniak, he comes in away game, forgets your damn knee pads. Is exactly how he said that. That is to a T how that was said to me. But
oh man.
So that's how that went down. But so the other thing, Alabama is surprisingly good on the offensive glass. I think a little bit of it is what you kind of said with A&M, if they miss a lot of shots. To me, that's more the case for Alabama than it is A&M, because Alabama, they're not a physical rebound team. They are a get long rebounds team, and I think they just get a lot of them because they're a team that shoots a lot of threes, and they're only shooting 32%. That's the reality. So I don't think we need to rebound well, but I'm not worried about getting out physical and out rebounded by them. I kind of think is the way I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
If you shut down Sears and you do a good job not letting them get a ton of second looks, because for them, that's a lot of threes. You don't let that happen. I think that we win this game.
I would have to agree with you. I think that's the biggest thing. And what I loved seeing on Tuesday night, and I think it'll translate because I'm guaranteeing they're working on this in practice. But when you see the ball go, I was paying very hard attention to this because it was our biggest weakness. As soon as that ball would go up, you saw people find bodies, which is awesome. You got to find the body. Don't watch the ball. Yeah. Find the person you're sealing out and boxing out.
Yeah.
And that improved drastically on Tuesday night. So if we continue to do that, not only will it help us on the defensive side of the ball, it helps us get offensive rebounds too, which is lethal for other teams against us.
Yeah, I'm that's just 100% reality for this ball game. And so I think that's it. Obviously we got to hit shots. That'll be the case every time we break down a game all year long. When we don't hit shots, we ain't going to win. We have, like I said, when we make 10 3-pointers or more, we don't lose. We've only lost in games where we don't shoot the three ball particularly well, which I think you could make the case that was the reality last game, but I just think we did enough of that's what I'm saying, bridging the gap. Yeah. Doing the little things well, gives you the opportunity, and that's what we argued last show.
We've been preaching that all season. If you do the little things, the big things get a whole lot easier.
You do the little things, worst case scenario, you're looking at the game, you're down 6-7, even if they're hitting some shots. You don't do the little things well, and you aren't hitting shots, that's when you're down 15-20.
And you have to make a crazy run.
Because we were down at some points in that. We were down, but we
were down 16-11 at one point. And that's only 5 points. I take that over. At that point of the game, it could have been at least 10 because we were missing everything.
We were up 3 at half. We could have been down 10. It's really that's reality.
That's when I texted my dad. And my brother. I was like, I think this is a win. If we're up at halftime right now, we've shot the worst we probably shot all season.
Yeah, I think they played their normal and we played terrible, and we were up 3 points at half. And I felt like I
thought they exceeded the expectations in the first half because they don't shoot the three ball.
No, they came back down to earth in the second half, and that's why the number looks the way it does.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. But so I think that's the way you win this game is you have got to do exactly what you did, to where if the shots aren't falling, you're down 5, 6, 7, 8 points. And then when they do, we got a ball game. Mm-hmm. You got to bridge the gap with the little things, physicality, running after 50-50 balls, boxing out, offensive rebounds, second chance points. Also, I want to tell this story because you'll find it funny. I wish we'd been watching the game together. Mm-hmm. But when Brandon Garrison, because I yell about this more than anybody in the world. And Brandon Garrison has a wide open dunk.
Wide open. There's nobody.
Not even debatable. It was literally I would have completed. I wouldn't have dunked, but I would have made the basket. Wide open. And then he kicks it out to Robinson. Now, I don't know. I would like to know. I might ask him this next time I interview him. Did you know that you were wide open for a layup and choose to pass it, or did you think someone was closing out and you found an open shooter? Because I'd like to hear.
He says he knows he was wide open. I hope that would be so swaggy.
I was so mad for about 1.5 seconds, and then Jackson made the 3, and I was like, "All right, Brandon, I'm not going to yell at you on Thursday now because Jackson made that. He saved your behind." And we won.
Brandon Garrison's the funniest player on the team.
Yeah,
I don't even think he makes me laugh so hard. Him and Kerr, but Kerr's not playing right now. But Brandon Garrison on the court makes some decisions where you're like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then they work out. So it's like,
But he was the one that did it last game against Georgia where I was all PO'd because he kicked it out when he had a layup. Yeah, that. But so I'm glad Jackson made that 3 because it saved Brandon yelling at from me about that because I was going to be so mad about that. That's funny. So, I mean, I think that's how you win this game, Carson. I think I go first today on MVPs. So,
Yeah.
on scores, I do think this ends up being a shootout. So, once again, Alabama's number 1 in scoring offense. We're number 2. Iowa's in the middle. Evidently, their basketball team knows it's not football. So I think that we're like 0.7 behind Alabama. So like we're less than a point difference. It's going to be a shootout. The analytics, Evan Maya, they actually predicted us to lose, but they predicted to be like 8. Like they had 89, we had 88.3. Obviously, you can't score 0.3 of a point, but it's like the analytics like them over us in a tight one. That's a weird one. My confidence in this one is about 50-50. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be a 2-3 point game either way, whoever wins. But I kind of want to do the reverse jinx. But do
it.
All right. I think Alabama's going to win this game 86-84 in a thriller. I think the MVP of our team is I think Kobe Bryant is going to have a good shooting game in a game when there's a lot of threes thrown up. So what about you, Carson?
This is the AJ King, Bailey Sanders, John Hayden prediction. I've got the Cats 106-101. Alabama's players are washed, and the Cats win this game at home. No, I'm just kidding. I think we do win 106-101.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, last year was, how many points did we score last year on them?
117.
Exactly. So I'm actually taking us to score less than we did last year. But I think we win at home. I think Lamont keeps Mark Sears in check. I just don't think they have enough firepower outside of him to keep up with us. I just think we get it done at home.
I'm with you.
I got my MVP is going to be Lamont Butler. I think Lamont's going to be the MVP.
Okay. I like it. And I think and once again, he could be the MVP and only score 4 points.
Exactly. That's yeah.
So we need to remember that. That doesn't just mean scoring, because his goal in this game is to not let Sears go for 30 points.
Yeah.
Let him go for an inefficient 18. You know what I mean? Like that's what we need him to do. Because if he goes for an inefficient 18, we win this game. If he goes for an efficient 29, that's when we lose. So this
is our new player of the game corner.
We're starting. Well. Oh, I just Rupp-Arena dunk cammed again. This right down there. So we put Mark Pope, but we're going to start putting up when we because y'all know what we do is we'll we're previewing Alabama. We start talking about the A&M in the preview. So when we I guess we'll have to figure out something to do, Carson, next week. That's not a game preview because we have We'll figure something out.
We'll think of something fun. We could do something fun. We'll do something fun.
Maybe we could. That's what we could predict the rest of our 15 games or 13 games, whatever. But so on whoever plays well will be in our little corner down there. I love how I was just moving my mouse cursor on it, like people can see that. It was like right. Yeah, I'm an idiot today. But so we will put our player of the game down in the corner, down there. So that's going to be a new fun thing. So once again, follow the new Twitter page at Wildcats Today _. Wildcats Today _. Gonna have some fun stuff on there. Carson will be tweeting throughout the game. I'll be tweeting throughout the game. Maybe some cool pregame video, postgame questions and interviews. And
I think the Twitter will be good because then we'll get to interact with you all more. And I'd like to do that. I think YouTube's harder to do that on. Yeah. So definitely go follow us on the Twitter. We'll be using that a lot.
So yeah, go follow the Twitter. We'll have a lot of fun stuff on there. And once again, thank y'all so much for 2000.
Wildcats Today 2K.
Yep. Shinaway Pub. Friday night. We're going to be there. Plans 9:00. Plan to have a good old time. Be there.
I had 2 dozen roses.
Yeah, you can promise. That is going to be cued. I'm calling ahead and saying, put it in. Get it cued. A little thing. So, like I said, really appreciate y'all. Hope everyone has an outstanding weekend. Big one Saturday. Root on the Cats. And we will see y'all next week right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.